Stunning testimony tonight. Then President Trump's refusal to call off the rioters at the United States Capitol on January 6th, as well as new insights into what was happening around Vice President Mike Pence as the crowd threatened to hang him. David Axelrod's back. Alice Stewart, Ellie Honig as well. So, Ellie, I promised this question. So, Trump knew the Capitol was under attack 15 minutes after leaving the January 6th Ellipse speech, and he sat in the dining room. He watched it take place, and then he sent that 2:24 p. tweet slamming Pence. This is a thing that sent shockwaves through the White House.
Andy McCabe was correct in the last segment when he said, generally speaking, it's not a crime to do nothing, right? However, it's relevant in a couple of respects. First of all, if you're trying to prove as a prosecutor a broader conspiracy to steal the election, to defraud the United States of a fair election, a conspiracy to obstruct Congress, you need to show the person's intent. And to me, the evidence we saw tonight clearly shows Donald Trump's intent was exactly what happened is what he wanted to happen. I mean, is there any reasonable dispute now about the fact that Donald Trump was happy with what he saw, wanted to let it continue?
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
What about sending out a tweet threatening, calling the vice president a coward and saying he's let us all down? At the same time, you're being told he is under threat.
Exactly.
Putting his life in further danger.
And that's an affirmative step. That's an actual act. That's way more than just doing nothing. And we got really important context around that tonight because we know now that Trump knew, he was watching on TV, he knew what we all knew, that the Capitol was under attack, and every one of his advisors was saying, you need to do the opposite.
Well,
you need to tamp this down.
It inflamed supporters. The committee showed that video. Watch. Yeah.
The call and response is remarkable, and we've seen this before. Remember the witness who testified, I think at the last hearing, Ayers, the guy who pled guilty to storming the Capitol? He said the reason we stopped was when Donald Trump finally sent the video, at 4:17, and Ayers said if he had sent that video an hour earlier, 2 hours earlier, we would have been out of there then as well. And I think this bears that out.
David, we also got some new images and information into what Pence was doing as the riot unfolded. Watch this.
Vice President Pence, there were 2 or 3 calls with Vice President Pence. He was very animated, and he issued very explicit, very direct, unambiguous orders. There was no question about that. And I can get you the exact quotes, I guess, from some of our records somewhere, but he was very animated, very direct, very firm, and to Secretary Miller. Get the military down here, get the guard down here, put down this situation, etc.
While was not calling Pence or anyone in the military, Milley sounds disgusted there. There's another soundbite with him saying, you've got the Capitol under assault and the leader is doing nothing.
Well, then the chief of staff says we've got to change the narrative to indicate that because it looks like the president's not in charge. And and he was really disgusted about that. I mean, it's really mind-boggling. Let me ask you guys something, though. What if he had marched down there? What would have happened if they had allowed him, if he had actually marched down to the Capitol with this crowd? What was he going to do?
What was he going to do? Like, rah, 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 go get him? Or?
I mean, it's really hard to imagine what he had in mind. It's like, was he going to lead the insurrection down there?
Or just stand there like,
He clearly wanted the optics of him with his people going out there and doing everything they could to stop what they perceived as a fake election.
Perhaps they should have let him, because don't you think that would have been worse for him in the end?
Yeah, I don't think they were trying to provoke a riot. I mean, I don't think the people who stopped him wanted to provoke a riot.
But I think that would have been worse for him, because he would have put himself in the middle of this riot. It would be all of this video and footage of him.
Remember what Pat Cipollone testified to, if I can just add this. He said to Cassidy Hutchinson, if we let that happen, if we let him go down there, we're going to break every law in the books.
Yeah, we're going to break every law, we're going to be tried for every law known to man.
Yeah, so fortunately, he did have some people of, quote, Team Normal giving him good, sound, solid advice. Unfortunately, he didn't listen to it until it was too late in the day, and much damage was done, many people had died, and here we are now still having this conversation. But fortunately, he finally took the advice of people that he needed to call this off. Maybe it took Jared getting out of the shower to get the message to him, but he did get it.
I thought that was interesting that said Jared. We had to get Jared out of the shower.
That was strange.
That was. Oh boy.
You just got off a long flight.
Yes.
You all know.
Yeah.
Thank you all. I appreciate it. It's good.